Jim Miller coming at you with another episode of the Pre-Ride Show presented by Envy. We're here in the middle of the BWR Expo, and I get a chance to sit down with the 2019 winner, Peter
Defending
Stetina.
champion.
Okay. I always like returning champion because you don't have to defend anything. You won that. That's yours.
I guess
you
so.
You decided to return.
Yes.
I want to go back to that date because at that ride, you were still then a member of the Trek Segafredo team. If I remember right, you rode the race on your straight-up road rig.
Yep.
But already the plans were in motion for this privateer thing, I would think. What I'm curious about is that transition from World Tour supported rider the way you were to privateer. And the work that comes with, arranging everything, the team you got to build and stuff like that. How difficult was that to pull all that together?
Well, the plans were not already in motion, and it's actually because of this event that kind of like that instigated my love for gravel. Like that was that moment when I did this event and I saw what it was about, and then I saw the aftermath from that it was like the gears were turning, like this could be a full-time thing on its own. You don't have to only be a World Tour pro to make a living racing a bike. And so it's really because of this race, and then, you know, Unbound, formerly Dirty Kanza, and Leadville kind of solidified that, but this was like my first alternative race is what we were calling it then, although now it's just racing. So that's, I'm very happy to be back. You know, this is a love affair for me. And, you know, as far as the work and going from that support of the World Tour to privateering, it's a lot more work. It's my own logistics, my own budgeting, mechanic stuff, although I have a mechanic helping me, but, you know, just working on all the different parts to actually build a professionalized race program is all on me.
All the things that used to be taken care of are
100%.
now your responsibility to arrange and organize. And
trying to figure out logistics and entries and travel timing and building the schedule out around other obligations with life and all of that. That said, it's also a lot more rewarding because the buck stops with me. It's I have no one to blame or congratulate except for myself.
Right.
So I'm a lot happier doing it. You know, a lot of people tell me I'm smiling more than I used to. So
if you set aside the team tactic elements, what are the biggest differences between like a World Tour race and maybe a one-day World Tour level race and a race like one of these or Unbound? Where is it more just a battle of attrition? Is it a little more punchy and attack-wise, or how does it typically play out?
Well, every alternative or gravel race ride's different. You know, Unbound is very much a gravel grinding is what we really, you know, you're just grinding away for hours, and it is that attrition. Belgian Waffle ride, I remember being totally blown out at the finish, and that was much more like a road race with attacks and high power and sitting on wheels and
saving
stuff.
a big climb for the end.
Totally. It was a lot more tactics going on with that. And so that's it's all very different. Interestingly enough, like these efforts, and part of it is because I have a lot of responsibility in the race. A lot of guys look to me to, you know, being in a one of the favorite statuses. You know, it brings it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. You know, there's a lot more pressure and there's a lot more expectation from the other riders in the race. So the power has to be very high to make ends meet in the end. And it's, you know, the World Tour, the depth is, you know, that's the cream of the crop, and that always will be. You know, the power to make a gap there is unlike anything else. But that said, I mean, in these gravel races nowadays, I average a much higher power consistently over the course of the day than I ever did in World Tour stages.
I think one of the unique things too about these alternative format races are every race is different.
Mm-hmm.
Every race has its own different rules.
Yeah.
Some are long, some are short. You were just up in Utah and won the Crusher and the Trusher up there.
I did.
Were we up there long enough time to get some blood cell fattening and coming out of that high altitude feeling pretty good?
No, unfortunately. I swore to never spend time in Tahoe, which is one of my homes, over 4th of July due to the tourist inundation. So had a few beers on the 4th and realized, like, oh crap, the race is in like 4 or 5 days. So I went up last minute. But, you know, I was born at altitude. I always kind of respond quicker than many up there. But I think with BWR, it's actually more about the heat acclimation, which I have been just with the heat waves across the West right now. I've been racing and riding and just stupid hot all the time. So I think that's actually going to be the biggest effect down here. That and just I've been riding my BWR bike off-road a lot because I like to call the Belgian Waffle ride the underbiking world championships.
Okay.
You know,
define that for me.
Underbiking is where you're kind of on a bike that you're doing things you probably shouldn't be doing on it. You know, and so for the Belgian Waffle ride, this is very much it's a road race still, kind of. You know, it's 60% pavement and it plays like a road race. However, all of a sudden you hop off onto pretty burly single track on
mountain bike trail,
and you're kind of like almost a little bit, you know, there's a bit of a pucker factor where you don't know if the bike is actually going to hold up. So it's that's what underbiking is. It's getting away with a bit more than you probably should be able to. And there's no other race on the calendar that celebrates that like the Belgian Waffle Ride.
Well, let's talk about that then. The bike itself. Is there any keen setups, things that you're going to tell us about the bike, and what are you bringing to the party on Sunday?
I have a special one-off build for this race. I am calling it my road bike because it is a gravel road bike. It's a road bike with specific gravel style modifications done to it. So I'm talking compliance, handling, a special tire setup, that kind of stuff. I am gonna drop the entire bike on my Instagram tomorrow. I got a video ready to go, and you guys are gonna have to wait until the day before the race to see it, unfortunately.
All right, folks, stay tuned. Get a look at his bike. One last one for you, brother. I know you probably still got a lot of good friends on the World Tour that are racing over there in France right now. I know you've probably been watching, as we all have. What's your take? And looks like we're gonna have another 10, 15 years of watching some really young, really, really talented riders.
There's been a generational shift in the World Tour. And, you know, it used to be you would turn pro and you would take, you know, 4 seasons to kind of get going and you'd get better into your 30s. Now with sports science getting so much better and it being available to everybody, right? It was almost like that Team Sky trickle-down effect where they were kind of hitting all that stuff like almost a decade ago. Guys are living like a pro since they're 12, 13 years old, and they're peaking earlier. And unfortunately, I think you're going to see they also fizzle out earlier too. I think the general pro lifetime career cycle is going to be more from, you know, 18 to 25 instead of from 22 to 35. And, you know, I've really enjoyed watching the tour. I got a lot of friends in the tour still. So good to see Bauke, one of my best friends in the peloton, Bauke Mollema. He won a stage for Trek. Sepp Kuss took the stage the day after. I know Sepp decently. And it's not so much FOMO. I'm actually really enjoying it. I would have loved to have done another tour before I made this move, but in the overall scheme of things, I'm happier where I am now in the complete picture.
Well, you should be. You're doing really well, winning races and representing yourself and your brands as expertly as you possibly could, because you're super pro, and that's what you do, man.
Thanks.
We're glad you're here with us. Thank you, and good luck on Sunday.
I appreciate it. I need the luck.
Right on. We all do. This is a race. A little bit of luck never hurts.
A lot of luck at the Belgian Waffle Ride. Keep
your eyes out for his bike drop tomorrow. And thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Pre-Ride Show presented by Envy. If you're on our YouTube page, please subscribe and click the little bell so you get notifications of all the future episodes that are going to drop throughout our time here in San Diego. Thanks for looking in.